So I've tried to make a lot of these trainings around people who are tired of their job, right? We're tired of our job and we want a way out, but we don't know a way out, or we just aren't clear, or we think, oh, I want to start an online business, but I have no idea what that could be. I have a friend over here that does it, or I see people online do it, but what about me? Right? What about me? I don't know what my options are. What can I do? Who can I help? And all of that good stuff. All right. So if that is you, leave me a comment below. Okay. If you want some clarity, right? That's what this whole next 10 days, which by the way, when I say 10 days, that's Monday through Friday. Okay. These next 10 days are going to be, I hope, very eye-opening for you and bring a lot of clarity to you and your life and some ideas of how you can get started. Okay, some of these you may have never heard of before. Okay, Latoya, shout out to the nurses. That's right. I used to be a nurse. Okay, so nurses they have my heart. All right, I was a nurse. I graduated back in 2008 from Auburn University, War Eagle. If anybody is from Alabama here. Graduated in 2008, and I think I went into nursing because, you know, they made good money, which back then I started at $18.25, and now I'm like, that was hardly anything. But I knew it would be flexible. I had just gotten married. I was 22. I knew it would be flexible when I started having kids, and I could flexible shifts and all that kind of thing. But during my preceptorship, I quickly realized that I didn't think that this career would be for me. But I had invested $50,000 into my education, right? Who else has ever had that kind of moment when you're like, okay, I've made it this far. I thought this is what I want to do. I can't turn back now because I've already spent all this money, or my parents have spent this money, or I have all this debt and I don't know what to do, so I just have to do it. Well, that's kind of what I felt. And when I graduated, I was pregnant with my first. We'd been married about a year in college, but I was pregnant with my first at graduation. I couldn't even walk on graduation because I was so sick. But I was pregnant, and I landed my first job on a renal floor. And for those who have never worked renal, it's very similar to med-surg. It's just renal patients are a little more, higher acuity. So I started there, night shift. Okay, I've always worked night shift because day shift was always crazy to me. Okay, but I worked night shift. And I tried to convince myself that I liked it. And that, and I did in some ways. I love the patients, right? I loved helping people, but there are some sides to nursing that are not so pretty. They're not so nice. The long shifts, the things that go on, right? All the paperwork, all the sights and the smells and all this good stuff. But again, I felt stuck. I stayed that way for 7 years, off and on in nursing, stayed stuck because I didn't know what my options were. I didn't know what else to do. We were in debt, 6 figures of debt. We kept having kids every 2 years. We have 4 now. And I didn't know what else to do, right? I mean, I knew I could make money online, but I just didn't have the energy or the capacity to figure it out because I was so tired from my nursing job. Well, one day, 2015, I decided that was it. I can't do it anymore. I'm leaving. And I did. And I've never gone back. Now, we struggled for a bit, right? Because we were still in debt and all these good things. But I just couldn't do it anymore. It was a soul-sucking job. I couldn't stand the administration. I couldn't stand all of that, right? The long 13-hour shifts. But I decided. I said, you know what? I am going to create an online business and I'm going to make it work. And you know what, guys? I did. I created an online business 4 years ago. And last year I was able to scale it to 6 figures. Now I know what peace and freedom having an online business can bring you. And my passion now is to teach other women who are stuck in their job how to do it too, so that they can plan the exit from their job and stay home, be with their kids, find financial freedom, have this work from anywhere kind of life, the laptop lifestyle, as some millennials like to call it. But hey, you get to make your own schedule. You can show up when you want. You can work with who you want. You can charge what you want. Okay, does this kind of business sound good to anyone else? If yeah, give me an emoji in the comments. So that's one of the reasons why I decided to do these next 10 days of mini trainings. Now, there's not going to be homework. It's not like a challenge or anything like that. I'm just doing it to help. I'm here to serve. And for those who don't know me, I'm an online business coach for women. I help motivated women ditch the job, okay? By helping them plan, create, and launch profitable, highly profitable online service-based businesses, okay? So we can plan the exit from their job together. That's what my passion is. That's what I love to do. And the number one thing that when people join this group, or people, women I talk to, because I talk to women every day that are in these kind of positions, and I ask them, you know, and when you join the group, you probably got the question, right? It said, what are you struggling with? What do you want to know? And everybody wants to know, how do I start? Where do I get started? How do I get started? How do I know what my options are? We want clarity, don't we? We want clarity, and that's what I'm going to do over the next 10 days, Monday through Friday. Each day is going to have a little bit of a theme. Now, these aren't going to be very long. I'm hoping around 15 to 20 minutes total for these trainings each. If you miss a day, that's okay. There's going to be replays, and I hope to get them on YouTube as well. But my goal for all of you is to get clarity on who you are, who you help, how you can help those people, and what you can help them with, and how you can sell offers to them to help them with some of their greatest problems, okay, and make amazing money while doing it, okay? Does it sound good to you? Drop me an emoji below. Okay, so I have gone on for, let's see, 8 minutes now, so let's get into the first training. So the first training today, like the title says, we're going to go over a little bit about who you are. Because with a service-based business, this is where it all starts. You need to have clarity about who you are. Now, when I ask that, and when I want you to think about, are all the things that make you you, right? Whether you're young or you're older, whether you're 20s, 30s, 40s, 60s, it doesn't matter, right? Who are you? What have you been through in your life? Are you a mom? Are you not a mom? Are you married? Are you single? How many kids do you have? What life stage are you in? What are your life experiences that you've been through? Have you been through a divorce? Have you been happily married for a long time? Are you a newlywed? Are you a new mom, or have your kids left the nest? Where do you live? Where do you live? Where are you located? Are you in the United States? Do you travel around the world? That's one of my husband's goals, by the way, in the next year, is to take our 4 kids and travel around the world full time after all this COVID mess lifts up. But where are you in the world? And drop that down below. I'd like to know where you're from. I like to know who's watching, who's listening, and where everyone's from. So think about your life experiences, okay? Think about what life stage you're in. Think about where you're located. Are you in the United States? Are you in the UK? I have people in here from Australia and from other countries, Europe. So where are you from? Okay, that's going to paint, all of those things are going to paint a little bit about who you are, right? And what you've been through. Have you been through some really hard times in your life? Trauma, abuse? Have you been through homelessness? Have you paid off a whole lot of debt in your life? Have you had triplets? Have you had a really difficult time in parenting or finding a spouse? What are some really hard things that you've been through? Okay, and if you get a chance, write all these down on a piece of paper. Do a brain dump. Do a brain dump of all that you are. Okay, all these big things, big monumental things in your life that you've been through. Okay, next, I want you to think about your career or your work. What have you been doing in your life? What kind of work skills do you have? What is your expertise? What kind of credentials do you have? Do you have your master's degree or a PhD? Are you a teacher? Are you a nurse? What kind of nurse? What kind of specialty? If you're a stay-at-home mom, what did you do before that, if you did anything? Okay? Think about, or if you're a stay-at-home mom, like if you have an online business, what is that? Or what kind of computer skills do you have? Any kind of skills, right? Right? And this can be career related. So if you're a real estate agent or a doctor or a nurse or a teacher or working a, are you a lawyer? Are you working a marketing firm? Are you a graphic designer? Are you a web designer? Are you anything like that? Write down all the skills necessary for that job or career. Okay, whether it's computer related or tech related, or whether it's interpersonal skills, right? So are you really good with people? Are you a manager? Are you a director? Have you managed a bunch of people? And think when you're thinking about those kind of things, think about things that come naturally to you. Like if you're a manager, like you just stepped into that role perfectly and it fits you like a glove. Okay, so you are a great leader. You can speak to people and they listen. Is that you? Write those kind of things down. Okay, so these are all like work-related skills, but also like I said, if you're good at organizing, if you're good at systems on computers, or if you're good at Excel and Word and all that, like my husband, he's an engineer, and he can use Microsoft Excel like nobody else. Like he can create all these like crazy like graphs, and I'm just there trying to make the little cells work together and all of that. But what are you good at in your work, in your career, right? What do you have credentials in? What do you have degrees in? And all that good thing. Okay, so think about that. Then think about, guys, what you're passionate about. What are you passionate about? What do you just love to do? And this can be anything. And think, are you introverted or extroverted? So if you're more introverted, do you love to read? Do you love to think? Do you love to research? Do you love to watch movies? Do you love to watch YouTube videos? I know for me personally, I love to watch YouTube videos on like the most random things to learn about different things. And then I go on Wikipedia and I read about it and I just start clicking all the links. And before I know it, I've been on rabbit trail after rabbit trail, just researching everything about history and science and all that kind of stuff. So what do you love to do in your free time? What kind of books do you love to read? Do you love studying money or economics? Do you love fiction? Do you love storytelling? Okay. Do you love exercise? Do you love going outside? Do you love being with your family or your kids? Think of things that you're passionate about. Are you passionate about horses? Like my mother-in-law, she loves horses. Like that's just her thing. She used to be in all these horse competitions growing up. She has a horse now, finally. That's her thing, right? What do you love to do? If somebody came up to you right now and they said, okay, LaToya, in 15 minutes, we have a TED Talk going on inside, and you need to speak about something for an hour. I don't care what it is, but you just need to be engaging, and you need to be excited about it and passionate about it. I need you to, on stage, in 15 minutes, you need to talk for an hour. What would you talk about? What would you talk about? What are some of the first things that come to mind? Like, okay, yeah, I got this. And it can be anything. Parenting. Are you passionate about your faith? Are you passionate about food, fitness, a certain way of eating? And again, what do you just know a whole lot about? Do you know about how to sell on Amazon? Do you know about how to sell on eBay? Do you know do you know a whole lot about Instagram or Pinterest or Facebook and how to use that in a marketing kind of way? Are you passionate about running or running marathons? Are you passionate about relationships and making sure that you love helping couples have stronger marriages or helping singles find their mate? Are you known as like the matchmaker among your friends? Do you love going to church? Are you an author? Have you written books? See, what are you passionate about? What do you really love to do? Okay. Think about some of these things. Again, so what have we gone over? Your life experience. All the things that you've been through in your life that make you you. What are some of those things? Then you want to think about your skills, right? Your work skills. Like, are you a really good writer? Are you really good at tech? Are you a really good speaker? Are you really good at public speaking? Or you just love it? Or maybe you used to hate it, but now you've done it so much you're really good at it. What are things that you're just really good at? What about naturally? Things that you're naturally good at. Okay. Things that you know you've seen other people struggle with, and you think, I could teach them how to do that. What are some of these things? Again, write them all down on a piece of paper. Do a massive brain dump of all the things that you've gone through in your life, all the things that you're passionate about, all the things that you're just naturally good at, things that you have learned in your work or the credentials that you have, okay? The things that you just really, really like to do, or things about your personality or your characteristics, character traits that are useful to you and to others, okay? Now, I understand that the older that you are, and I'm only 34 myself, but I realize that the older that I get, the easier these questions become, right? You know, when we're young, when we're 19, 20, we have no idea who we are. We don't know what we like to do. We don't, right? It seems to me the older we are, we realize, okay, hey, this is what I am all about. This is who I am. Because what you want to do is you want to find clarity on yourself. You want to find clarity on who you are. This is where you need to start if you truly do want to start a business. Why? Why do you need to do that? Well, here's a few reasons why. One, you want a business that is aligned with you. You want a business that feels good, that you can be passionate about, because it'll make it easier for you to show up in that business. If you have a business that is boring, or you're not aligned with that, it doesn't light you up, you're not, you're just doing it to make money, let me tell you, you're going to get bored really fast, and it's going to be hard for you to show up in that business. It's going to be hard for you to really want to make it work. It's just going to become a drag. It's just going to become another job. And that's kind of what we all want to get out of, right? We kind of all want to get out of that job mindset, okay? So that's why it's really important to do a deep dig within. That was hard to say. A deep dig within ourselves to know who we are, what we're passionate about, how God made us, everything that, even the quirky things about us, who we connect with, okay? What are our life stages that we're in or that we've been through? All of these things make us ourselves, right? And you want a business that is aligned with who you are, because one, like I said, you're going to be able to show up in that business. You're going to be passionate about it. You'll want to tell everyone about it. You won't ever not be able to come up with content to write about it, right? Because you are the face of your brand in a service-based business. You are your brand, okay? And if you choose something that, I like it, but I don't know, then it's, like I said, you're not going to stick with it, okay? That's just the truth of it. And you're going to get bored, and you're not going to want to do it. And that's not what I want for you, and that's not what you want for you either, okay? So we want to get clear on who we are. One, to find a business that we are passionate about. And two, you want to find a business that agrees with your lifestyle. Okay, so if you're a busy mom, you're going to have a different lifestyle than someone who is a mom whose kids have left the nest, or a single post-menopausal woman, or whoever it is, right? Whoever you are, you're going to be in different life stages, and your lifestyles are going to be different. Someone who we move every few years, and I'm a busy mom of 4. We homeschool. My lifestyle is going to be a little bit different than someone else, okay? So you also want a business that is aligned with your lifestyle, again, so that you can carve out the time to do it, to work on it, because sometimes online business can be hard, okay? And that's another thing. You want a business that you know a lot about. You want a niche. Who you are and your life experiences and what you're passionate about ties in with your niche. Now, a niche is basically your market or your topic. Like, what niche can you go into? Now, we're going to talk about this a little bit more in a couple days. That's one of the topics of the mini trainings. But again, your niche, the market that you go into, is going to be determined by who you are, what you like, and what you're skilled in, what your work experience is in, and all that stuff I just talked about, okay? So that we'll go over that in a couple days. But like I said, do a brain dump on a piece of paper about everything about who you are. Okay, what you really like to do. What were your last 5 books that you read that you really loved? What do you love to buy on Amazon? What have you been looking up on YouTube lately? Who are your influencers that you follow on Instagram? And pull all these things out of you, right? Some of these are conscious, that we are consciously aware of, and some of these things that we're not really, okay, I didn't realize that I really like that, but I guess I do. And another thing, guys, ask your family. Ask your husband or your mom or your dad or even your kids if they're old enough, like, hey, what are some things that you think I'm good at? What are some things that you've seen in me and you're just like, wow, like you really come out of your shell, or you really are really good at that, whatever that is. Ask and see what they say, because one thing I have found is that sometimes it's really hard to find these things in ourselves, right? It's hard to do that inward kind of work. But if we ask somebody that we're close to who really knows us inside and out, they're a little, they can see it, right? They can see things in us that we just can't, okay? So ask them what they think. Okay, when you think of me, what do you think of? Or what do you think I'm really good at? Or in my job, what do you think I really shine about? Or ask your boss if you have one, ask them what your strengths are. Okay, what do you think your strengths are? So all of these things I just went over, like I said, do a brain dump on a piece of paper. And then what you're going to want to do is you kind of want to start seeing a theme. Okay, seeing a theme on, again, you kind of want to tie it all together with your life experience and your work skills and your passions and the things that you're good at and you really love, and the things that you're naturally good at. And you kind of want to pick a niche that conveys all of that. Now, if you have trouble with that, I'm kind of really good at helping people come up with their niche. Okay, so I'm going to leave a link below. Feel free to book a call with me and we can go over that, okay? A clarity call on what exactly your niche could be. Now remember, the top 3 industries out there are health, wealth, and relationships. So I always like to say, if you can make someone healthier. Now in that health industry, we always also want to think of like themselves. People are always going to want to help themselves, whether that's in their life or, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, something like that. So health / themselves. Wealth, can you make someone wealthier, whether in their business or personally? Can you help them get out of debt? Anything like that. And then relationships. People are always going to want to have healthy relationships. They're always going to want to know how to improve relationships, especially the really difficult parts of relationships. So like if you're parenting a special needs child, or if you're on the brink of divorce, or like things like that, that goes into relationships, because those are the top 3 things that people are going to be willing to pay for to get out of their pains, to pay when they have problems in those industries. So when they have a problem with their health, when they have a problem with their money, when they have a problem with their relationships, people are way more likely to spend money to improve those things, which is the kind of service-based business you want to go into. And we're going to be going over that in a lot more detail over the next, 9 days now. Okay, so I hope this was helpful. I've been going on at about 20 minutes now. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop a question below. I would love to answer any of your questions. Latoya is from the Peach State. So are you in Georgia, Latoya, if you're still here, if you're still hanging in with me? So yes, I hope this was helpful. Again, your business needs to come from you. It needs to come out of you. You need to dig deep and think about who you really are and all that you've gone through up till now, all that you love to do, all that you are just really good at. What have you been doing for your job for however many years? Other people, your employer is paying you to perform those skills, okay? So you already know that you have a marketable skill. Now all you got to do is figure out how to make your own business out of it and make yourself all that money, right? Because we know that we make our employers a lot more money than they pay us. Think about it. Okay, so this was the first day's training, getting clear on who you are. And let me see, tomorrow's training is going to be getting clear on what you do. Okay, getting clear on what you do. And what we're going to talk about tomorrow, again, 4 p.m. Eastern, same time. What we're going to talk about is what you can do. So we're going to take those skills that we just talked about, the experiences and all that, and now we're going to combine them into something that you can do, something that you can offer, okay, something that you can help people with. So that's why it's really important to do this exercise first, okay? So anyways, again, questions, drop them down below, and I will see you guys tomorrow. All right, 4 p.m. Eastern, same time, same place in this group. Okay, bye, ladies.